All right, well, let's give this a go. We are going to create a 3D model of the control bracket, and then possibly in another video, depending on how long this one takes, we'll look at creating 2D orthographic views of the control bracket using Flatshot and/or maybe a third video of creating 2D orthographic views using the base view and projected views. All right, so enough said, let's get into this. So how are we going to get started? Well, we're going to start by drawing the the basic shape, right? So on the XY plane, we'll draw a line that is 140 long, and that goes a little bit further than I anticipated. There we go. And we're going to come up at 60 degrees, so and go 90, and then we're going to come over here 90 degrees relative to that for 51. Now that's a key. That's the 51 is very important because we're going to the center of that curved top, right? Not to the end of that, so it's a lot easier to construct this. The thickness here is going to be 18, and we can come down here. Oh, I don't know how far we're going to go. We're going to go like that, and then we'll offset 19 from here to here, and we'll also offset 19 from here to here, and we'll draw a line like so, and trim this out like so. Okay. So now, in my experience, we have a couple of options here. We could add in the fillets and rounds right there, or excuse me, in this case, the fillet, right? Remember, a fillet adds material, so that would be technically a fillet, even though the command that we'd use is fillet. And that would help us with the with reducing one thing that we need to do through the extrusion. We could do the same thing over here, but if I remember correctly, that causes a little bit of a problem with the filleting that we have to do later. So I'm going to hold off on doing that. This might be something that you want to explore, but so we go like that. So I got the shape in there. I'll go ahead and go back to my isometric view, and we can just do press pull. We don't need to make a region out of this. We'll just take the easy route, and we want to press pull at 64 up. There we go. All right. Now, some people don't like working with it like this because it seems like it's not the way that the object should be developed or should be created, because top is kind of in the wrong orientation. So we might want to use the rotate gizmo, and maybe we'll move the gizmo down to here. Not that we really need to. And we'll rotate it 90 degrees like so, and that way everybody's happy. One suggestion is also to get rid of your construction lines, because they can come back to haunt you because you kind of forget that they're there, and sometimes it causes problems. So I'm just going to erase that and remove this, and so we get that. Okay, so there we go. Now let's continue on. So we're going to work in kind of a workflow, right? So next we want to develop a cylinder, and I'm going to move to the top surface here and the midpoint, and I'm going to stretch my cylinder out here and come down a distance of 18, like so, and then we want to union that together. All right. And we could go ahead and make the hole in that if we want to. We could wait on that, but let's go ahead and make the hole. So I'm going to, again, draw a cylinder on this top surface. I'll come in and get the center right there. And let's do a diameter of 19. Diameter 19. And since this is a cut, I'll just make sure that it goes all the way through, right? And then we subtract this from that, right? And then we're going to do the same thing again with another cylinder. This time we'll use the center running object snap so that we can get it right there. Yeah, we got to be careful getting that. A diameter of 32, and this time a depth of 9. And we'll do another subtraction. This one's a little bit harder to get, right? You can see how it's having trouble getting that. So here's a suggestion. Let's go to Wireframe, and we can get things easier there. So we'll subtract. We'll pick this as the whole, and we'll subtract. There we go. Enter. There we go. And we'll go back to conceptual. Bada bing, bada boom. All right. So now let's deal with the cutouts here. So the first cutout that we're going to make, it actually doesn't matter which order you do the cutouts, you know. So I'll do the first cutout on here, and I'll draw a line. Go to the line command, and I want to draw a line, and I'm going to, let's get a better view here, a little bit closer in. So on this surface, right, I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to acquire this point, and I'm going to track across. Am I tracking? There we go, track across, and I'm going to type in 11, and then I'm going to come up at an angle of 30 degrees, right? So I'm using my polar tracking, which is very helpful. And I don't care how long that line goes up, so I'll just go like that. Now here, it might be helpful to kind of do this. And I'm going to draw a line again from here to a distance of 42. So a little bit of construction, and then I'm going to come back at an angle of 30 again. And that line that I just drew is going to help me. Now, I can't use offset, right, because I'm not in that plane, but I can use, I believe, copy. Right, so let's go to copy, or move would actually work too. Let's go to copy, and we'll copy. I want to be careful that I get just the object, copy that line, and we're going to, yeah, see, it's not going to go in that direction. So we're going to just do a little bit more construction. So I'll draw a line from here, and I'll go up 6. Okay, and then I'll copy this line and copy it from there to there. Okay. Now, this is kind of a loose construction, right? You know, obviously I didn't worry about trimming and stuff because we're going to use press pull. All right, so let's go so we can see everything. Let's go here, and let's go to press pull, and we can get that space right there, and we'll just subtract it through. Okay. Now we have some construction lines, so again, I'm going to, well, you know, I'll leave them in there right now, so we can create the next shape. And the next shape is going to be a rectangle, and it's going to be 6 deep. So let's go to the line command, and we're going to draw, because it's centered, we're going to draw it like this, and I'm going to draw down 6, and I'm going to come across. The width on that is 22, so I'm going to come across 11, and then I'm going to go up to that intersection right there, and then I'm basically going to do the same thing again. Acquire this, come across here, go across 11, and come up to right there, you know. And again, I have the shape that I need. I can get rid of this, you know, because that's just going to mess things up. And there we go. Okay, so that probably is the most difficult part of this drawing, or this model, is to get those lines to be drawn properly on at the correct orientation, or on the correct plane. You know, it's certainly not a trivial matter, and especially, you know, using dynamic UCS. But let's go ahead and press pull, and so we can grab that shape, and we'll just press pull it right through, and then we got that. And now we can erase those construction lines, because again, they might come back to haunt us, so we'll just erase that right there, and we'll remove this, and there we go. All right, so far so good. So we got the cutouts done. Now let's turn our attention to the middle. So remember the flow here. We first extruded the basic shape, the bulk of it. Then we added the cylinder on the top, half cylinder in this case. We created the counter bore hole, and then we made those cutouts. So now let's work on the base here. Now, when you look at the dimension, the base here, the way we're going to construct it, the dimension that we're using is taken from the bottom of the surface, right? Bottom, so 51. So I'm going to go ahead and develop on the bottom there. So I'm going to do this just to kind of help me get this situated, to get my bearings right. So I'm going to draw a line on from the midpoint here at a distance of, on the bottom, a distance of let's go 14. Okay, so we'll go 14. Okay, and I'm going to use that just as kind of a notice that is in the middle of the bottom part, the middle symmetrical midplane of the object, and 14 is the dimension for the beginning of the cylinder, right? I need to go a further 3. So, but what I want to do is, because all this stuff is getting in my way, I just want to go to Wireframe, and actually it'll make it a little bit easier to see. So let me go here, and let's go back to a top view like this, and I'm going to draw a line from it's picking up that surface. I don't want to do that. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to I'm going to do this. I'm going to take this line, and I'm going to put it on my construction layer. Okay, and then I'm going to change my layer to construction, and I'm going to freeze the visible layer. Okay, because that's just getting in the way. So let's draw a line, and we'll draw a line at let's see, the total width of this is diameter of radius 19. So I need to go out 19, and then let's go again, radius 19. All right, now I want to offset that 3, because remember, I'm not starting in the right location. Okay. And the total length is I'm going to go from here, so I'm picking the right point, and I'm going to go, now I'm going to use that trick, apostrophe cal. I want to go 19 plus 29 plus 19. Okay. And then we come out here, we come across here. And then we come all the way across here, like that. And we're going to offset again, 3, there, okay? So that's the footprint. The inner rectangle is the footprint that I want to extrude up. This line here and this line here were just to help me with the construction of it, okay? So now we can go back to our object like this. And, you know, we don't even need to turn this on right now. We can just go ahead and do a press pull, pick this inner shape, and we'll press pull it up 51, right? Okay, so far so good. Let's go back to parallel, and let's turn on our object, right? And let's go to conceptual, right? And let's union this. So you can see that we have the object in there. 51 is the dimension that we used, right? So we drew it from the bottom surface, and we can union this together. And there we go. All right. So now we want to put a cylinder in there. So we're going to put a cylinder in here, and we're going to do it like this. We're going to go to this surface, and we're going to acquire the midpoint, and we're going to drop it in there. You know, we already got the width set at 19, so we can go 19 for the radius. And then the length, now here, again, the cylinder, or the cylindrical ends overhang by 3 and 3. So we want to make sure that we get it the right length. So again, I'm going to do apostrophe cal, 19 plus 29 plus 19, and we get that. Now I need to shift that back, so I'm going to click on this, and let's go to my move gizmo, and let's go in here, and we want to shift it back 3. Okay, so now it overhangs slightly. You can see 3 millimeters, just like it should. We want to union this again. There we go. That looks a little strange right there. Huh. That's interesting. I wonder why that is. Huh. You see how that cutout, that's not correct. Let's do that again. Let's undo this, undo this. Did I move it off or something? Yeah. You know, let's make sure that I got the correct dimensions on my cylinder. 19. Okay, so that's good. Let's get the dimensions of this correct. So let's go here. Whoops. Let's do a distance from here to here. Well, there's your problem. That's not 38. It's okay. So all right. So let's undo. We'll go back to this. And where did I go wrong here? So this line is 19. This line is 19. And this line is, that line is wrong. All right, so let's get rid of that. Is that line is also wrong, so let's get rid of that. Now how long is this one? 67, so that's correct, and this is, yeah, that one's wrong too. So 67, so let's draw a line here, and we'll draw it up there, and we'll make sure that we draw it 19 times 2 is 38. And then we'll come across here. And let's offset 3. And double check everything is correct. 19, 19, 38, 38. All right. So let's go back to conceptual, and we want to extrude this up using press pull. So we'll go up 51. Here we go. And let's bring in our object. And let's hope we got it right this time. Sorry for that. We'll union those together. Whoops, looks like it put it on the wrong layer. So let's go back to the visible layer. All right, let's try this again. So let's look at it and make sure. Okay, so that looks good. And we go from this view. It looks centered. Yeah, everything looks good. We'll go back to home. And let's do this again. Cylinder, acquire this surface, come up to the center, and we'll go 38, 19, right? And then we'll go 67, 19 plus 29 plus 19 is 67, okay? And then we'll click on this, and we're going to push it back 3 millimeters. And that, wow, again, that looks off right there. Huh. All right. Something must be wrong with my lines here. This is, one of the this is actually a good point. One of the, looking at this, and it looks like 90 degrees, right? But we're only showing 0 decimal places. So if I go to units and turn let's just crank up my angle, and let's make sure is that 90. That's 90. That's 90. That's 90. That's 90. Let's just double check this. 90 from here to here. Yeah, look at that angle. See the angle in the XY plane? All right, so I think we're gonna draw this again. Boy, I've never had problems like this. So I guess it pays to really double check. So let's check our distance again, make sure that, okay, that's 180 degrees, which is correct. All right, and we go back here, and we'll do the same thing from here to here, and it's 270. All right, so now we'll draw a line from here out to here, 180 degrees, right? That's correct. And we'll go 67. And we're going to come up 38. And we're going to come over here 67. All right. Then we're going to offset it 3 here and here and here. Okay. So let's see how this works. And let's bring back this. I certainly did not think that this is what was going to be the hang up with this. All right, so that looks good. Let's union this together. All right. And now let's do a cylinder again. By now you probably know how this is going to go. And let's go 67. Okay. So far so good. Now let's use the gizmo and we'll move it back 3. And we'll visually inspect it again. It looks better. All right, let's just look because I'm now suspicious. There we go. Okay. So, all right, so now we can union that. All right. All right. Now we're going. So let's go ahead and make the hole through that. So we come over here and we go to the center of that right there, and we'll do a diameter of 19, and we'll come all the way out, and then we'll subtract. Okay, so we make that hole. Everything looks good. Now, the cutout here, so let's see. The construction for this, I'm gonna try to use some of the geometry, right? So I'm gonna draw I need to go 19 from the end here. So I'm going to, let's see if I can do this. Draw a box. I'm going to acquire this surface, and I'm just going to draw a box here. Whoops, no. Yeah, let's do this. All right, so actually let's do a box from the corner here. Some distance, we don't care what the length of that is, but we want the width to be 29, tab, let's say 120. All right, and we're going to go up a goodly amount. All right. So then we want to move this. Okay, so now this is the lazy man's approach, right? We could work really hard to try to draw the box in the right location, but I, am a firm believer in let's just get it over there. So I'm going to use the gizmo, the move gizmo. I want to move it this direction. 14 plus 3, or excuse me, 14 plus 19. Apostrophe cal, 14 plus 19. Okay. That was not the right distance. Maybe it didn't put that in. Let's undo that. Oh no, yes, that was the wrong distance. Sorry. Let's go. Let's do this again. So we want to do 14 plus 19 plus 29. Sorry. Apostrophe cal, 14 plus 19 plus 29. There we go. Now it's in the right location, kinda, sorta. We need to move it up still. Okay, so let's go up here, and we'll use this gizmo to move it up. We want to move it up 51 minus 25, okay, which is 26. So we want to move it up 26, okay. And let's visually inspect it because Lord knows I've made enough mistakes right there. Okay, so there we go. And now I can subtract this, cut with that. There we go. All right, so there's almost our finished object. We just have the 2 holes to put in there. So we'll do this on this surface right here. Let's make sure that we are parallel. Let's do this. Let's draw a circle, right? And these are diameter 13. So let's do a circle on this surface from the center right there with a diameter of 13. Okay. Now I'm going to move. Actually, no, I can't move this up. So here's another trick. What I'll do is I'll change my user code. So I'm not going to use dynamic UCS right now because that doesn't work with copy, and that's what I need it to use. So I'm going to use UCS 3-point. Actually, I could use face, F for face, and I'll choose this face right there, and then we'll accept that. Okay, so now notice, but this is important. Notice that X is pointing downward. Okay, so I could have flipped that, but let's just work with it like this. So let's go to the move command, and we want to move this this way. What do we need to move it? We need to move it. Oh, you know what? I drew this on the wrong. I should draw this circle. Center diameter right here. And that's a diameter of 13. Yeah. And now, I still have the UCS's changed. So now I want to move this. We can type L for last. And I want to move it this direction, 28. Okay. And then I want to copy last and copy it down 29. Okay. So now I have two holes in there. If you don't believe me, let's look at the 2D wireframe. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we got the two holes in there. Let's go back to conceptual. And we want to subtract those, so we can go to extrude, and we can pick that shape right there, and where'd the other one go? Right there. And let's type R to remove the big thing right there. We'll hit enter. And then you do want to make sure you don't go too far because you'll cut into the object. So we'll extrude that like so, and then we will subtract. So we go to subtract. We pick this as the part we want to keep, and we get rid of that and that. Whoops. This is the part we want to keep. We want to subtract that and that. Enter. There we go. And we'll go to UCS world to go back to our original view. Okay. So so that's the object done. Okay. Minus the fillets. All right. So now I'm going to save this because it's good practice. Who knows how the fillet is going to work? So I'll save it in case we have an issue. All right, now we are going to fillet it in stages. So first, let's do the fillet for this edge right here, and fillet radius of 6. There we go. Okay. And we're going to do the fillet. That was just the regular fillet command. We could also do the 3D fillet. Remember, it does the same thing. So we'll go here and fillet radius of 6. Whoops. I don't think I got the fillet radius in there. Let's go fillet right there. Radius 6. There we go. Okay, so we got the two fillets in there. Now that's going to help us make a continuous loop around this. We are also going to fillet this edge and this edge with a radius of 6, right? Same thing. All right. Now you can see what that does. That creates, without sharp interruptions, a continuous loop around this object. So now we should, the theory goes, we should be able to select this edge and do a loop and pick the other one. Whoops, no. Let's go back. Sorry. Go back here and pick chain and pick this edge right there, and you see it go all the way around. That is a radius of 3, and it didn't do it. Let's try that again. Here, radius 3, chain. We'll pick this edge right there. Enter, enter. There we go. All right. So, second try, it got in there. Maybe it was because I did the fillet radius in a different order. I specified the radius in a different order. Like I said, it's very picky. And let's handle these in here. So again, we want to create a loop around here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fillet this with a radius of 3. And I'm going to go ahead and pick this and pick this and pick this. I think I'm going to turn off my solid history because I don't need to see all that on there. That's what we're seeing right there. So I'll turn off my solid history so we don't see that. All right. So now let's do the underside. So we go to fillet and we'll choose that right there. And that's also a radius 3. That also needs a loop, or excuse me, a chain. And we'll pick that edge right there. And we'll do an enter. And it didn't like it. Let's do the fillet command, and we'll do this. Radius 3. We'll go here. And here. It didn't like that either. Huh. So let's just pick them. That seems to be an issue right there. I don't like the way that's working. Hey, what do you know? It took it that time. Okay. So again, filleting. Let's pick that. Let's pick that. So this time I'm not doing a loop or a chain. I'm just picking them explicitly. There we go. And now I should be able to do one around here. So we go like this, we pick this, and we go with a loop. And let's try that. And we accept that. And we accept, yep, and it didn't like it. Let's try that again. Let's try a chain this time. There we go. Okay. And I do believe that is all she wrote. Oh, yeah, the 2 holes in the top there. I always forget those. So let's... Those are 9 from the end here. So let's do this. So how can we get those holes? We know the dimension is 9 from the end of the cylinder right there, right here, this face, and we know that the cylinder face is 14 from the end here. So what if I was to do this? This is where I really I tend to use the dimensions and the geometry that I have without trying to, create complex moves. So I'm going to draw it on the base. This has a diameter of 3. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw it nice and long like that. Okay. And then I'm going to move this direction, 14 plus 9, or 23. Okay. Now that's not exactly where we need it. It's way too low. We only need this hole to go through the top part of that cylinder, so I'll just move this and kind of eyeball it, but I'll move it in the X direction right about there. Okay. So you can see now that's good. All right. Now before I subtract, I should copy this. So I want to copy that, and I want to move it over. I want to move it over. It's got to go 10 plus 29 plus 10. So 20 plus 29, 49. All right, so let's have a look at that and see if that looks good. Looks good. So let's subtract that, subtract. And there we go. All right. All right, so there's our drawing, our object done. All right, I'm going to stop it here, and I'll pick up with using flat shot and using the orthographic views.